Hey there, Paulo from Learn Inc. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how I made this. This is a custom Monstera rug that I did in a tufting house. So in this video, I'm just gonna talk about the entire process, what I did, what I learned, and then what I think you should know. So if you don't know what tufting is, it's basically sort of using wool and then putting it and making like rugs. They basically push the threads through a canvas, and then on the other end, they sort of like puff out. But that is really manual and labor intensive. So what they do with tufting is they have a gun that makes this entire process super, super fast. The process is super simple. You just have to go to the website and basically register. In this case, I went with Tufting House because that's really close to where I live. And they're really particular about when you make your appointments that you cannot cancel it and you cannot get like refunded like last minute because they have really small space. They can only have up to like 10 people. So if you cancel, it is not sort of like helpful. So the cost was $99 for a 30 by 30, which I thought was plenty of room to be able to make like basically everything you wanted. You can also get like a cheaper or smaller version for like $69. But honestly, I don't know why you would do that for like 30 more bucks. You get like an entire thing. Like it's just worth it. So after signing up, you'll receive some instructions about picking your design. You're gonna notice a pattern. You want your design to be really easy. So basically, if it is inside a coloring book or something like that, that is going to be fantastic. You want something with like chunky line work. You want something with really clear colors. And I went to their profile and looked at what colors they had. So I was like, okay, so these are the colors that we have to like work with. You're gonna see a lot of like cartoons, a lot of like Pokemons, a lot of like video game characters, and then I saw a lot of also like signs. I'll be playing some footage along the way as their profile and all the cool stuff that people are doing. But basically, you are supposed to bring 3 designs into your class, and they're going to help you basically tell you if it works or if it doesn't. So I was between a few designs. I knew I wanted to do something related to plants, and also I wanted to do something with like a cartoon. So I was thinking of doing my favorite Pokemon, which is Tangrowth. Then I was like, it's really difficult. I saw some examples of Tangela that were really, really cool. They use like the different depth of the wool to create this 3D like aspect to it. But I just thought it was gonna be super impossible to achieve in like 2.5 hours or like 3 hours. So I just went in a much more simple place. I had a bunch of different designs of the kind of Monstera that I wanted, and I made sure for sure to do some research because you can find something similar. Like you can find Monstera rugs online, and I was like, all right, what do all of these look like? Because I didn't want to like spend this and then make something that was pretty much looking the same as something that could get online for a lot cheaper. So what I ended up doing was really customizing it to what I hope one of my plants will look like. That's why it has a bunch of colors. I thought it was a lot of fun to be able to mix 2 together, and then you would basically get them to come out and create like a new interesting kind of randomized pattern. I just thought it was really, really cool. So I wanted to have some inspiration on my own plants to sort of like what I hope this would accomplish. I wanted to put this mat right in front of my IKEA cabinet, which is right here. So I wanted to basically be inspired by my favorite plant, well, one of my favorite plants from last year, 2023, and that was my Constellation. I know these plants have been around for a while, but I think at the beginning they had really low variegation, and then they went the complete opposite way, which was a lot of like marbling. So I wanted something unique. I ended up just buying this half moon tendency tie, even though I know half moons tend to be like problematic genetically when they get older. I was like, maybe this will give it a unique sort of aspect to it. Unfortunately, it was a tissue culture plant and it snapped in half when it got shipped to me. So half of it died, and then I was able to get this part to root, which is basically what inspired that the rug that I made. As you can see, it has a lot of different colors. I'll be posting a video post with better aspect to it. It has some really interesting patterns to it. When the leaf first comes out, it's really, really white, and then it sort of like burns into these greens. It tends to only have a few small strikes of the green, and then it has a lot of patchwork, which I thought it was really interesting, particularly like the smaller leaf that only has like going through the middle, and then this one is basically like sectoral, but over here you have a lot of patchwork. I don't know. I just think this is a very interesting plant, and basically the rug was meant to represent what I hope this plant turns into when it gets a lot bigger. So the day of course, I was running late. I ran, literally ran out of the car into this place. It was supposed to start at 4, and it was like 4:05, and it was raining really hard. So I was like, you know what? I just need to be there. I don't want to be that person that's going to delay the entire class. So I just ran for it. That might have not been the smartest idea when it's raining, because I just ate absolute shit on the ground in front of their business, in, like, the door. Like, the door was right here. The entire wall is glass because they can see out. And I would just like running, and I just go whoop, and I just like hit the fucking ground. It was so embarrassing, but I honestly just got up and I was like, oh, maybe no one saw. Like, it's fine. You just get up and you carry on. Carrie Bradshaw taught me that. But it turns out that a bunch of people saw it, because then I had people like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, no problem. But to be honest, my foot could be broken, and I would have gotten up and gone to that class, because I was like, I am not missing the tufting. So of course I go inside, and everybody wants to know, sorry, Kitty. Everybody wants to know, like, are you okay? If everything fine? And I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Let's just focus on the class. So actually, me running created even more attention to me than if I've just been like a little bit more late. All right, so what is the process? After coming in and doing all of that, you basically have to sign in some paperwork, just liability, accepting, all the risk and kind of stuff. You're literally dealing with like a big needle, so you need to sign some liability papers. After that, you're gonna show them your image, and they're gonna tell you, hey, I don't think it's gonna work because letters are really difficult, or this has a lot of colors and really intricate techniques that I don't think is a good fit for like your first class. And they're just gonna recommend which one you do. So in front of each of the canvas that you have in front, they have like a projector where they'll project your image, and then you just get to see like the aspect, just projection. You get a big marker, and you literally just outline your figure, marking what colors you want to wear. I think this is why it's useful for it to be like a coloring book with really thick lines, because that way you can just sort of trace it really easy and then have really clear distinctions on where each color goes. When everyone is done tracing the rug, we go to a presentation on how to use a Tufting gun. That gun, it was really unique, the way you kind of hold it, because the front sort of like dangles, so you just give it strength. They show you how to do different things. They show you how to not do, but basically what I gather is you should probably just work in going up, in upward motion, and you have to push really, really hard. That was something that I was not doing at the beginning. I was sort of like going in, but I was a little scared of like, oh, I don't want to do like a hole through this or anything. And it actually ended up being worse, because the machine then would start like cutting the actual canvas and then creating holes that I did not want. So I just learned to really push in and sort of like lean into it, and that helped a lot. The entire process was pretty straightforward. What I did first was sort of like outline the black part, because I wanted to be clear on what I want where. And then I sort of decided which parts of the Monstera were going to be a little more sectoral and would have like a more beige and white colors. Basically, and I just got to it. I started with the black holes. As you see, I decided to do like some holes in the middle of my rug. I wanted to have like depth. You can cut into it, of course, so I have actual holes, but I think that really is not smart, because it just compromises the structure and it's just not easy. So I just ended up making everything black, and then you just fill in. I went with each section. I was trying like testing new colors. I was like testing patterns, seeing what I liked. I did not want it to have a lot of dark green, because I saw a lot of the rugs online have a lot of dark greens and whites and stuff like that. So I wanted mine to be a little more unique. And then basically after I want to say 2.5 hours, you're done. I took a time lapse of what that looked like. You can see it right over here. Basically, you're just going line by line, and then I go to the front, make sure I like the way it looks, then go to the back and just pull all the little threads that are loose. It was a lot of fun. After about, I want to say 3 hours, that's when you're supposed to be done. And the main reason they want you to be done is because then they take your actual rug, they pull it out of the canvas, and then they attach that sort of like sticky back to it, to like anti-slip, that has like a glue that also just glues everything together. So that takes time. It's one of the employees who are doing that. So they get one rug and they start sort of like sticking it and steaming it to this anti-flipping plastic, and then they just give it to you for you to shave. So that process does take a while, because if you're the first one to give them your rug, they'll be on it. You'll be the first one out. If you're like the last one to give them your rug, you basically have to wait for everybody else to get their rug so like stamped. I was towards the end. I was like the one before the last, so I had to wait for a while for it to like finish getting done. When you get your rug, you basically get it, and it's really kind of, I don't want to say dirty, but it's really fussy on the top. So they give you some clippers. It's basically what it looks like hair clippers. And then you kind of like shave the top of the rug. I thought that was really interesting. It was a lot of fun to just sort of be like shaving it and then vacuuming the stuff. I tried to get cute and do a little more, I think, that what I had time to do. So I ended up not being able to finish what I wanted in there. It was already like 9. They were sort of like already closing up, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just taking this home and doing it. So here's all the footage of me basically coming home, getting my own set of clippers, and then just reshaving my rug to give it the effect that I want. So what I did, hey Edie, she's obsessed with the rug. Basically, it's hers now. She just lays on it wherever it is. She's like, yeah, no, I want it. I need to show the rug. Is that okay? She's like, no. Right, fine, 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 fine. Come on, kitty. There we go. All right, living with cats. So what I wanted to do whenever I shaved it was to make like a 3D feel. I don't know if you can tell, but basically the black is lower than the rest. That is why you can have certain colors go over it, and you see how you kind of lose the actual black. If you don't want to lose it, you just leave it the same height and it will not move. The circle will remain. But what I wanted is to feel fun. So in basically where I put it, I stand on it a lot with my bare feet, and having this sort of holes where the fenestration is, it feels fun. It feels fun on your feet. It sort of gives the whole thing texture. Another thing that I did was basically shave all of the color and then just leave the white area higher. So the white is like lifted. So it has this sort of almost edge to it. You can almost like feel the difference or of where the white is. And that also makes it a lot of fun to walk over it, because then you have like this 3D texture that is like deep and then higher, and then the white is just like fun. So that is what I wanted to accomplish with my rug. So there are a few things that I would have done differently. I think one of the colors I did not particularly love, like this one. I think I would have put maybe a little more white across. I was trying to accomplish that sort of like marbling that you sometimes get, but it was just difficult because everything has to be done in like a straight line, basically. So I think I would have changed this aspect. That's something that I would have done differently. I think something else that I would have done differently is I think I would have given it a double stitch on the outline. I just think whenever you trimmed it, it makes some of the fuzzies on the end sort of like pull out. And then you have like a little patch of empty because there's not enough thread. So I would have done like a double of the black. I would have done like double of the white here. Um, and that's basically it. I really love this rug, just besides those tiny little details that I think would have made it more fun. This is obviously not the kind of rug that you want to put outside your shower. You do not want to be stepping on this. You don't want to be like full time, a lot of traffic. It should be either like around some kind of furniture, laying on it, or like I have it just right in front of my IKEA cabinet. So the only one who lays there is literally the cat and myself. So I just stand on it. So it gets not a lot of foot traffic, and I think that's what you definitely need to do whenever you're doing one of these. So there you have it. This was my experience making my custom Monstera rug. Comment down below and let me know if you've done something similar, if this is something you're interested in, and if you were able to, what kind of design would you do? Would you do like a custom leaf of one of your favorite plants, or would you do like your favorite cartoon? I'm really interested because you guys have really fun answers for that.